The Buzzcocks are a punk rock band from Bolton, Lancashire, which is in England. They were formed by two singer-songwriters, Pete Shelley and Howard Devoto. They were stage names, not their real names, in 1976. Devoto left in 1977, which left Shelley basically as the front man guiding the band. After 3 albums, they broke up in 1981 because of a dispute with their label. They reconvened in 1989 and produced 6 more albums before Shelley died in 2018. Their bassist Steve Diggle then switched to guitar and took over, and they have released 1 more album since then. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was the second album by the Buzzcocks. It's my first time listening to it, but I do know, well, at least one of the tracks, which was quite a big hit for them. And I would describe this as being punk. But there's a certain range of things that can be described as punk, I would say. It's fast and energetic, and it has that kind of punk sensibility to it. It's roughish, especially in the production, but it's pretty skilled musically in terms of the playing and in terms of the writing. There are decent songs here. Mostly that there's very little here to take offence at, so it's quite acceptable. In fact, I might say that this was the acceptable face of punk. And yeah, there's noticeable vocal harmonies in here as well, which is not necessarily a mainstream punk idea to have. The songs are about love, life. There's a song about lust, there's a song about regret. So the single that did really well from this was Ever Fallen in Love with Someone You Shouldn't Have. And it's quite a well-remembered song because there aren't actually that many songs, I think, that hit exactly this note. Not musically, but kind of thematically, in terms of regret that you're falling for somebody that you know you shouldn't, and you're already in a relationship and you know you're going to mess that relationship up. And that's an interesting sentiment, and it's one that, you know, there should be songs out there expressing all sorts of things, and this is something that it's good to have that there. The other track that I want to pull out that I particularly like is the instrumental Late for the Train, which is the last track, which has got a nice kind of fast, tight feel. It's obviously kind of modelled after the sound of steam trains particularly. But yeah, it's done nicely. The singing's reasonable, and it's fairly enjoyable. Overall, I would say, I quite enjoyed it. It kind of, I think, proves that punk could be kind of poppy and acceptable without losing too much of the musical elements of punk. So I think there might be some people who would say it loses the kind of nihilistic and rebellious attitude that some punk had. But yeah, it's reasonable. I quite liked it. So as always, at this point, I want to invite you to join in the conversation by telling me and anybody else who reads it what you think of this album in the comments. What I like is the fact that so often when I do one of these reviews, actually, this is the start of the conversation, and this then continues through the comments, and that's great. So please join in. And that's it from me for now.